Hi, good morning. My name is Mike Driscoll, and I'm delighted to be talking today about aerodynamic data models flying fast at scale with DuckDB. I am the co-founder and CEO at Rill Data. Rill is an operational business intelligence platform. We have been working on this technology for over a decade, initially spun out of Snapchat. We manage over 100 terabytes of data across thousands of users and millions of queries by those users every day. And we have a number of public companies that trust us with using our operational BI platform, including Comcast, AT&T, and companies like App11. Traditional business intelligence is slow and rigid. And if you've ever asked anyone about how happy they are with their dashboards performance, the answer is usually not very happy. Typically, these involve canned reports with limited exploration, and really they're designed to run on any data warehouse, typically Snowflake, Redshift, or BigQuery. Rill, on the other hand, is fast and flexible as a BI tool. We really focus on ad hoc exploratory analysis, working with high dimensional, high cardinality data, and unlike other BI tools, we require a high performance database on the back end. And why is our tool different? Well, our biggest differentiator is performance. We typically see sub-second queries, even at the large scale. We rely on an OLAP engine for that, as I'll be talking about DuckDB in this case. We also embrace BI as code. Everything you see in Rill can be developed locally and deployed to Rill Cloud, all with the benefits of Git workflows. And finally, we're a big believer in metrics, and our developers can declare metrics using basic SQL expressions, and Rill auto-generates dashboards based on those metrics definitions. Our architecture combines ETL, what we call last mile ETL, again, an OLAP engine, as we'll talk about DuckDB, and a BI tool. So we're not just a thin client. Rill is actually quite thick in terms of combining last mile ETL and OLAP database along with the BI tool. Now, why do people choose a fully managed BI engine like Rill? In the first case, when you combine ETL with your database and your BI layer, it reduces complexity. We have a tremendous amount of expertise running OLAP engines at scale, from Druid to ClickHouse to DuckDB, and we do a lot of tuning of those engines. And finally, the tight coupling of our dashboard application to our OLAP backend allows us to do a lot of optimization that would otherwise not be possible if we hadn't integrated that OLAP engine. So why did we choose DuckDB? Really, four major reasons. The first is DuckDB is incredibly fast, and we are obsessed with performance. DuckDB allows us to profile and explore tens of gigabyte data sets with sub-second performance. Second, DuckDB is simple. It's got incredible lightweight, no dependency architecture, which makes embedding it in Rill quite easy. It's also scalable. We have actually scaled DuckDB up to hundreds of concurrent queries and I would say up to 100 gigs of data. And finally, it's open source with a very vibrant developer community. So I will give a brief demo of using Rill. You can try at home on your own. I'm going to show off just a canned example of using Rill to look at some blue sky data, since blue sky is all the rage these days. And then I'm going to end with talking about some of the optimizations we make under the hood to make Rill work very well and very fast with DuckDB. So for that live demo, I will go ahead and launch a terminal here, and let's see if we can get that running. So what you see here is I've actually launched Rill Developer. I've got it running in my browser. Rill Developer is a browser-based application, and it's as simple as something you can fire up on the command line with just as seen, just a command, a simple curl command will bring Rill down. I'm now running the latest version of Rill, 0.50, and I've also got in the background here, I'm actually downloading in real time all of the Firehose skeets coming from Blue Sky. So it's about 40 megs a second of data that's flowing off of the Blue Sky jet stream, it's called. And thanks to Jake Thomas, who built this. I'll give a link in the comments to where you can find this Go library yourself. So we're pulling down this data, and what I've actually done is I've launched a Rill developer session, and using DuckDB, I'm just looking at a number of posts that are coming from Blue Sky really just today. And what's nice about Rill is I can actually do some of this ETL, some of this data munging. I'm just extracting a set of basic fields from this data set, and I can get real-time feedback. So, as I change, let's say, some of my regex expressions, Rill is going to automatically update that in real time. You can see here, for instance, I'm just doing some basic data munging on the timestamp. And what's nice is, again, when you make changes like this, you get that feedback instantaneously. So here I'm, operating on around 10,000 rows of data, and as I make changes to the data set, I'm getting kind of immediate feedback. This is what Rill calls models. Rill uses models as our kind of base data set. And what I've done is I've built a model here of the Blue Sky data, and I can just right-click on this model here, and with a single click, I can generate a dashboard with AI off of this Blue Sky data that I'm actually collecting in real time on my local machine. So let's see what happens when I run that generate dashboard command. And it's going to give us, looks like it's got about 10,000 records there. That's what I was limiting it to. And it gave us an instant dashboard that we can kind of dig in on. Nothing crazy here, but what's nice about Rill is you can start to explore this data set and see some trends. One thing that stands out is, for instance, obviously English is the most common language in Blue Sky, but interestingly enough, Portuguese is the second most common language. I assume that's from Brazil. If I go here and edit this further, let's see if I go back to my, I can increase this. I'm looking at 10,000 rows. Let's actually look at, let's look at 1,000,000 rows. And so as I just increase this, I'm actually, again, pulling down a few million records off of Blue Sky. Now I've got about 1,000,000 rows that I'm profiling. We can do the same thing again. Let's generate a dashboard with AI. And hopefully this will give us a richer data set to look at. Okay, so we can zoom in on this data. I can zoom in a little further. And again, nothing crazy here, but we can still see that, in terms of the language of the records, English is the most common. We can look at these different record types. I can look at, number of likes and posts. I can really start to explore this data in a pretty interesting way, just kind of with my browser. And ultimately the goal is to publish this operational dashboard somewhere where you could share with colleagues. So that's a very quick tour of Rill. I hope that provides some insight into what we're doing here and what we've built in terms of our operational dashboards, all powered by DuckDB here in the Rill developer console. I'll say a few final words here about why we're able to do things so quickly. And a lot of this is about coordinated optimization across the stack. So the application layer, the data model, and the data engine all working together in sync. So we use things like min-max indices in DuckDB quite extensively to speed up all of our queries. As you saw, all of our queries are really time-based, so they work quite quickly that way. We make heavy use of enums, which are much faster than strings. Lower memory usage makes queries much faster for published dashboards. And we are very aggressive in terms of query cancellation. So when a Rill dashboard is built, we really are only pulling the data we need for any particular view of the data. And so that query cancellation is a huge boon and benefit. We use priority queues as well to keep our dashboard application snappy. And an example of what I was just talking about is we call it WYSIWYF. What you see is what you fetch. And so we're always delaying the evaluation of queries until it's something that the user needs to see on the screen. Whether scrolling or drill downs, all of that is done in a delayed way. And we also do a number of optimizations on the data modeling side and allow folks to materialize their metrics versus having those metrics be served as views to get additional speed. That's all I wanted to share today. Thanks for joining us. We hope you'll check out Rill yourself, download it, try it, and follow us on X or visit us at rilldata.com. Thanks again for being here.